we're going to go ahead and go over the faults that you will see on a 210 monitor. The topics we're going to be covering is the faults themselves and go over what they mean. We're also going to look at some of the specific faults that are available. We also are going to see some of the causes and the solutions to repair these problems. And then we're going to go ahead and show you some of the unknown features that your 210 has. First one that we're going to talk about from top to bottom is the VDC fault. What this is the 24-volt power supply is having an issue. So what we're doing here is that we're letting you know that the 24-volt power supply is under 18 volts, which would make it go into a hard latch fault after 40 milliseconds. Anything 22 volts or higher is normal operations. The problems that you can find or solutions that you want to look at is you want to check the power supply itself to make sure that it is generating 22 volts. We also would recommend that you look at your controllers because some cabinet manufacturers, the 24 volts is in the controller itself. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the watchdog, which is the circuit that looks at the controller, and the monitor makes sure that the controller is operating and active. If there's a problem with the controller, it will let the monitor know, and the monitor will put it into a latch fault. This fault is usually where you would find it is in the controller unit or the wiring of the cabinet that goes from the controller to the monitor. So that's what you look for. The next is a conflict. A conflict is looking for two channels that are not compatible or a conflict. When you look at your diode card and you program your diode card, you want to make sure that that you have your matrix set correctly, so you want to pick up conflicts between channels. When this happens, we just put a fault in, and if you notice, it says it's on 2 and 11. It's letting you know that the monitor diode card has said that 2 and 11 is not permissive. So one of the things you want to check if there's a problem is you want to check your program on your CPU, or you want to check the diode card itself. The diodes themselves are glass. They do break, they do malfunction, so you want to make sure that there's not a problem there. It could be also a problem in the field, so you want to check your field if there truly is a voltage on that, in this case, channel 2. The next thing is the program card ajar. When you pull the program card and it's plugged in, you'll see a PCA light illuminate. This lets you know that the program card is not seated correctly. Push and hold the reset, and it'll go back to normal operations. The problems usually with this is the physical program card is not in the unit. There may be dirt or debris in the fingers of the program card, so you would pull the program card out and check and make sure that they're clean. One of the things we recommend to clean the program card is a pencil eraser. It is non-abrasive and it won't cause any fires. It doesn't leave any residue that would cause spark. We also recommend that you check to see if there's any damage with the diodes or the program card itself. Diagnostic fault. This is an internal check of the CPU,
internal memory of the unit,
power supply, and the diagnostic features that are in the unit itself. When this light illuminates, all other displays are not applicable, so go ahead and ignore it. What we recommend is you take the monitor out of the cabinet, replace it with another monitor, test that cabinet in a controlled environment, and better yet, it would be a good idea to ship it back to the manufacturer to get their blessing to make sure that everything is good. A recurring pulse is where we have an output on the yellow or green That's not a standard, meaning that it's not on or it's not blinking correctly. These are looking for imperfections on the line that goes to the LED heads to make sure that we have a good and steady display. If there's a problem, usually it's going to be either your load switch with a triac and the load switch is misfiring or not firing correctly, or you may see a field issue where the wiring is having damage, or critters, rats, varmints might be chewing on it to cause that issue. The other thing is a power supply in the head. I recommend that you check that. The last thing is the feature. As I said, you can actually look at the outputs from the monitor. So to do that, the only thing you have to do is, and what you do is when you push the reset and hold it, it will now notice that you see the flashing green up here. That means it's just looking at the green channels. So the LEDs will only illuminate when the green channel is on. In this case, channel 1 and 7 are on. If you push and hold the reset once again, it will go to the yellows. And now you will see that when they illuminate in the numbers, that means that there's a yellow indication in the field. So in this case, we have green being on in the field. When it goes to yellow, it will actually turn on. So in this case, it will turn on showing 2 and 8, meaning that the load switch or switch pack had illuminated yellow, and then it went from 4 to 10, of course, on yellow. When you release the reset, it's going to let you know that it's going to go back to normal operations. We're still monitoring yellows, 1 and 7, and we release. Now with the green light on, it lets you know what is going on in the field on the greens and the yellows. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at 602-396-1284, or you can go to our support page at support.editraffic.com, which will show you more videos